as dead as a dodo. That would appear to apply to the Tanga team. First, a lot of hits from the executive in terms of dismissals from plum state jobs that would include Rashid Echesa CS, Mwangi Kunjuri. Then the blow from Raphael Tuju in terms of hitting them in Jubilee Party and the disappointment they got thereafter, and the wars with Raphael Tuju, which they never won, which instead left them on the ground, to Parliament, where Jubilee Air dealt with the Tanga in Senate, resulting in the casualties such as also Murkomen, Kihika, Susan Kihika, Kithure Kindiki, to the National Assembly, where Duale, Washali, and the rest of these people, including Ishungwa, my friend, have all been floored by their opponents. Now, if you look at the scorecard, definitely you would easily conclude that the saying, as dead as a dodo, would apply to the Tanga team. My sympathies to you. Talking about the dodo, if you look at the origins of this saying, then you begin to see how apt it does apply to Tanga. The dodo was a flightless animal, bird rather, found in the Mauritius. Now, the Portuguese sailors on the sea route to India to look for spices needed fresh food. On this island, when they landed, as they did land on other islands, to refill in terms of fresh food, they found one thing about this bird. One, it looks delicious, it looks nice to eat. Two, it was also big, it had weight, appealing. Three, the dodo was flightless. It couldn't fly like other birds. But worst for the dodo, it was like defenseless. You just picked it and cut it. So the Portuguese loved the dodo because they would then carry the dodos onto the ships, because then the dodos on the ships wouldn't fly away. And fresh food on a long sea journey is more than you can pray for. So the dodo came in very handy. Now, because of this onslaught from the Portuguese, because it was defenseless and it was just picked, then they became extinct by mid-17th century, beginning from the 16th century. Now, why was the dodo flightless? Why was it unable even to move and defend itself? The dodo had found good food in Mauritius, a lot of fruits. And because of that, it ate so much, it kind of became stupid. Big, fat, and stupid. This got me wondering, why are the Tanga people not hitting back? Why are they not fighting? Why haven't they even fought in parliament where they are supposed to have had numbers? I had a friend of mine whispering, could it be that they were overfed by their benefactor? Could it be that the weekly stipend they used to get made them so fat, literally speaking, that they have become defenseless? Could it be the point? Now, the scorecard, like I've said, shows that the Tanga team is dead as a dodo. Now, the question that then comes to mind, for those of us who analyze things, we don't side with anybody. We just analyze things. For those of us who analyze things, we ask ourselves, with all this dead leadership, is Tanga, in particular, is William Ruto, our lovely deputy president, is he able to match the handshake team? Is he able to mount a campaign for 2022 More seriously, is he able to walk to State House when all his lieutenants and generals have been flawed? The other question is, what happens when your people are being hit and you are not answering? What is the psychological effect of Ruto's lieutenants being hit one after the other, like I've said, from parastatal jobs, from cabinet, and I hear much more is coming in terms of cabinet reshuffles, where they are likely to lose. I don't know, but that's what everybody seems to be saying. And lately in parliament, and to the Jubilee Party, where Raphael Tuju has dealt them a serious blow. Is he able to march into this war with all these dead generals, with all these dead lieutenants? That may be the case. And perhaps to answer this question, you love to look at his new tactic. William Samoei Ruto has now gone to the ground. Some people have argued that if you want to get a constituent, a certain demography, or say a county, if you want to be a governor, if you want to be a president and you are targeting Ukambani, that you could ignore the leadership of that area and go direct. Now, William Ruto has gone direct to the people because his leaders, the leaders who are following him, the leaders who are assisting him, have all been hit by Uhuru Kenyatta. So he's gone directly into to the people. The question you want to ask yourself, will that work? And the answer seems to be a little too bad for him. That politics in this country, and I think in many other places, revolves around leaders. In this country, when you want to get a region, you go for the so-called vigogos, for their so-called leadership. Now, if the leaders have all shifted to the handshake, if you go to central Kenya, all the governors in Mount Kenya region are with BBI and the handshake. All the other leaders, including those who started off with Ruto like Kieni, up to the latest like Kate, who are now moving, then you see he's isolated in terms of leadership. You go to Western Province and you see that he remains with the weak part of the leadership of Western Kenya. Didmas Baraza, for example, my friend, Washali. Against such a giants, like I've said before, Atwoli, Oparanya, Eugene, then you begin to see how then will he march? And yet Kenyan leadership is one, tribal. Two, you get a region through the tribal kingpins. Now, if all these leaders are either firmly with the handshake or moving towards the handshake in the so-called defections in Kenya, or if they remain with you and they are from Mount Kenya region or Western Kenya for that matter, they are limping. How much help would they give you? Yet, given that our politics is tribal, our politics is practiced through the kingpins, Vigogo, then you might say, no, William Samoei Ruto is an intelligent man. And indeed he is. What has he decided to do? He has decided now to go direct to the people and show them he's development conscious. With the meetings banned because of Corona, he's doing like what people used to call house to house. And he's being generous because he's no longer donating in churches, because the churches are not there, at least not for now. He's now giving people motorcycles, either directly or through proxies, like I saw the other day, giving water tanks, giving all manner of things to people, which is good. But I've argued, of course, that's not the way a country should go. We should empower people and not give them handouts. But be that as it may, he's then giving people. Then you ask yourself, if Ruto is showing people he's generous, he's able to support them, will that make sure he wins? My honest answer is no, not in Kenya. Ask people who did so well in their constituencies. But when it came to vote, Kenyans considered other things other than the so-called development. So you might think you reach people because you are giving them things. Unfortunately for Kenyans, when they go to that voting booth, what comes to mind is, what tribe am I? Who am I voting for? The primordial instincts take over, even from the most learned among us. When they are in that voting booth, then is the time to remember they are Luos, they are Luyas, they are Kikuyus. So for that reason, Unless you capture the leadership of a community, which is what is now ailing Ruto's campaign, which is what I'm addressing this morning, then your journey to State House is kind of compromised. And therefore, my advice to William Samoei Ruto, find out what you can do so that your people are not hit as you just watch.